Bring everyone up. Let's bring up my co-host.
Aloha, welcome.
Aloha. I'm bringing Ryan up. Hi, Jason. How's it going?
It's good. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for being here. And Carlos, I just gave you the mic as a co-host. Hey, Brent. Hey, Jason. And I think Kelly's here too. Let me invite her up.
G'day, guys. Hey, Tanya. Hey, Carlos. Hey, Jason.
Hi.
And Noel is another of our good ones to add. Amy's not going to make it after all, so sorry about that. And then Matt may be a little bit late, so we may skip over him as we run down the group.
So, Jason, I invite you to be the co-host, so this way we have all our microphone. And let me go ahead and invite up.
Hi, everybody. I see Jason has a co-host. Welcome, co-host Jason.
How's it?
Hey, Carlos.
Fine. You're not late. Come on. You're what, like 30 seconds late? That's nothing.
Cracking the whip. Got to get this going.
Oh, oceans are 30 or 20, 30,000 million years old. So we are 30 seconds or nothing. Don't worry. We're very happy to have you here. Seriously. And you are.
Okay, we are live. Yeah, we're full disclosure, we're streaming on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook group page, and also on Social Chat's website. I want to let you guys know that. And again, I really appreciate this. I just happened to see a tweet, and then I was just like, you know what? Let me see. I want to know more about this project. And so, before we start, let me go ahead and say hi to everyone and my co-host Carlos. Hey, how are you, Carlos? So Carlos and I, this is our 9th episode. We're excited about hosting every Sunday where we feature a project that is giving back or raising awareness, certain social subject matter, which is very important. The one thing I know, the ocean is very important to me. I think everyone needs to realize that more than ever. If we don't have the ocean and the life on there, then we as a planet is in trouble. So when we're able to raise this type of awareness, and if we're able to talk about NFT in that too, so I think that's important. So Carlos, are you okay? I don't see your microphone.
Yeah, I felt like he got cut off in mid-sentence. Did he get rugged already?
Yeah, he'll need to update his app, because the app is like they gave more emojis, but then we have to update our phone. So here we go. I see him.
Let's try again.
I'm actually going to invite him to speak and see what happens. I invite you to speak, Carlos. And let me see. Here we go. There we go. That should work now. Here we go. Here you go. Okay. Yep, I can hear you now. Carlos?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. I just want to make sure everything is good with you.
Yes,
So,
yes. I did change. I did change line. I went to another Wi-Fi, so I think this is stronger.
Nice. So I was just saying welcome, and this is our 9th episode. We started out, Carlos and I, just as a favor for someone, and they the next thing we know, we're just like, let's just feature NFT projects that are making some differences in the world, and what they're doing and how they're utilizing their NFT project, and who are they helping. So so today we are thrilled to have the whole project here, because what I wanted to also, the Ocean Tribe NFT it's interesting because everyone that's involved into the whole project are from all over the world. It looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead and give the mic to Jason. But Carlos, how are you? I've been trying to say hi to Carlos this whole time. Carlos, you're good?
Yes, I'm here. Can you listen to me?
Yep, I can hear you. So let's go ahead and start with Jason and have Jason tell us a little about himself and the project, and then Ryan can join in.
Yep, I think I think essentially what it is Ryan and several of the other underwater photographers in this group gathered all of us together. I joke I'm sort of an honorary member. I have a couple underwater photos of turtles, but a lot of my work is actually our Hawaiian monk seals, and they're actually on the beach when I photograph them. So a little bit different than a lot of our peers. But Ryan, maybe you want to talk about putting this group together in the first place?
Ryan, you should open your microphone, probably it's mute.
Absolutely. I'd love to talk about it. Thanks for that, Carlos. Firstly, I'd just quickly like to say, Carlos and Tanya, very great initiative. Thank you very much for hosting us today. It really is appreciated. First, my name is Ryan Sault, and you've probably no doubt guessed that I'm an underwater photographer and a proud member of the Ocean Tribe. And we're essentially a group of underwater and ocean-based photographers. We have pretty diverse backgrounds, as Tanya pointed out. We are literally from all around the globe. We have biologists, scientists. We obviously have a lot of divers, and of course, we're all photographers. We initially came together for the means of mutual promotion. However, we quickly found that we're all very like-minded individuals. And as such, it was very quick that friendships formed. And once friendships formed, some support networks formed as well. So as a group, we're able to support each other's growth. Growth as divers, growth as photographers, growth as NFT artists. We can support each other's mental health, ideas, and we can also, most importantly, support each other's conservation projects and efforts there. Now, this group, I guess, we're a bunch of easygoing people, and we don't really know where we're heading. We do know we want to push towards ethical wildlife practices and conservation efforts. We do all kind of understand that one day we'll take over the world. But for now, we're out to have a little bit of fun and do some good while we're at it. So that's who the Ocean Tribe is. So far, we have put together a Twitter group and a virtual online gallery, which I'm hoping Jason is pinning up the top right now. And if you guys want to have a walk around that and look at some incredible underwater photos while we're speaking, that would be amazing. We'd love for you to take a look. And yeah, I think we intend to bring a few of our group members up today and talk about the projects that they are utilizing in order to give back to the environment that we love, and how we're doing it through the use of NFTs.
Tonya, I would like to do
Ryan.
something for maybe just a second. I would like to do something very briefly, and I need your help, Tonya, that you help me to remember, because this is our 9th program, I guess. For the people, this is like kind of initial reciting, but just like many people maybe that is here for the first time. So I would like to make a summary of the kind of things. For example, we had shows before helping the people of Tonga in the Pacific with the giant volcano. Okay, that was made through the Caritas organization, and the money for the inhabitants of the island were straight to that. We had Adam. It was Adam, the guy was the helping people with
Yeah, he goes by colorblind
There
underscore
was
Adam.
this people who have been suffering some kind of sexual abuse and stuff.
Oops, we lost him again.
Yeah, he'll come back. Let me bring him back up. Yeah, he's in Venezuela, so his internet sometimes is bad. But he was just saying that our different guests would always have a social project that they're working on. So your project today is about ocean conservation. But let's continue our conversation, and let me bring up Carlos. He wanted to. Here we go. Hi, Carlos.
Well, I now went to a hotspot with that thing. That's my last resource. I hope the third is a charm. I hope this one fails. But these last 3 days connections were horrible. Well, I guess you got the idea. I wanted just to know, to make the people listening that that's the purpose of this space. So what's the main problem with oceans? What's the biggest help oceans do need? Is something extra besides the obvious one, which is the plastic contamination that everybody knows about?
Well, I think that's actually one of the interesting things about having such a global perspective. It's disappointing, we with the global audience, it's hard for us to pull everybody together at the same time. So one of our members is Fake Eye, and he has a big initiative around plastics in the ocean. I think almost all of the divers in this group, when we're out in the ocean, when I'm out on the beaches, we do collect plastic. So certainly I think plastic is a big issue. But I think each of the members of the tribe sort of has that unique cause that they're tied closest to. I'm in Hawaii, so I do work with our Hawaiian monk seals, which are one of the most endangered marine mammals in the world. Only about 1,400 of them left. But then we do have speakers that will talk about their work with plastics. I know Kelly is one of our members, and she does some work with underwater photography and on Maui, over on Maui, Hawaii, and she does have some plastic ties there. We were going to lead off with Kori. Kori does some research with sharks, and she has a foundation that she runs. So I think that's where we're going to go first, is to let her talk a little bit about her project. She recently sold a few pieces on Super Rare, and one of those funds research specifically for Maumana Foundation. So if I can hand that off to Kori.
Hey guys, thanks Jason for the nice introduction. I want to make sure everyone can hear me before I start going off, because I am on Tahitian Wi-Fi, so it looks like I'm getting a bunch of hearts, so good. Yeah, as Jason said, I am a shark biologist. I'm based out of Moorea. It's the sister island to Tahiti in French Polynesia. And my kind of intro into the NFT world has been coming from a place of research. So I am a researcher first and a photographer second, and using the photography to help fund that research. So this project I did on the critically endangered oceanic white-tip shark, this piece, I'm really excited, was collected right away, actually funds a satellite tag that can help track sharks as far as depth, temperature, movement, both vertically and horizontally, so we can better protect these animals by understanding their use of the waters around French Polynesia. So that's a really exciting thing, to be able to directly take these NFTs and put them straight towards research, conservation, and bigger projects. That's just kind of the beginning. That was my first intro into the NFT world, was dropping that piece and hoping to make a big change. So I'm excited to see where I can take us with other projects, but primarily I'm focused on involving the community here, training fishermen and locals to actually be the researchers and citizen scientists. So they're going to be the ones out tagging the sharks with me. I'm really excited to document that and show you guys what can be done with NFTs. Thank you.
Okay, it's Kori. One question: is it true that sharks never sleep? Fact checking. Fact checking.
It is true. So they don't sleep in the traditional sense where, you know, they grab a pillow, tuck up at night and pass out. They will find currents. They'll kind of drag in the current and relax and kind of shut down to a very Zen meditation state and use as minimal resources as possible. But they do not sleep like how we sleep.
Okay, so it could be possible that my son is a shark instead of a human because he never sleeps. It's very difficult to get him to sleep. Thank you for the information. I will talk to the pediatrician on Monday. Thank you. Maybe we have a shark at home. Thank you.
You might.
Thanks. Okay, and the other question is, okay, regarding the first thing that everybody knows or talks most about in news and the parties, whatever, is this plastic thing. There is this famous little kid who was 16 years old when he invented this kind of machine that I think is still working and he has been funded and stuff. But it's really, really needed because I never expected to see such a big amount of footage of the animals suffering so much. I mean, it's really, plastics in any form are totally dangerous. NoelGuevara is raising his hand. He belongs to your team, Noel?
Hello, yes, sorry. Hi.
Yeah.
I just wanted to jump in very quickly on the problem with plastic in the ocean, because I've been covering it for almost 5 years with Greenpeace. It's very interesting that we have so many solutions right now that are, for example, the ocean cleanup, where you invent machines that actually collect trash. But generally speaking, the approach when it comes to ocean conservation is that most of the efforts are directed to the start of pipe, meaning where plastic was actually produced and used. So the hardest thing about picking up plastic or collecting it from the ocean is that it's already produced and it'll stay there. You know, it'll stay in existence even if you collect it. So most of the efforts now are focused on converting huge companies and making them use sustainable alternatives, and also sort of educating a lot of the consumers to try to go for alternative packaging or products, so as to lessen the amount of plastics that's already in the ocean that can stay there for 70 to 100 years.
Yeah, because that's a question I made. Is suppose that you can, just like a Harry Potter wand, magic wand, and you took suddenly all the plastics in the ocean. Where are you going to? You're not going to send that plastic to the space. That would be extra contamination. But if you put it back in the ground, in the continental areas, on the continents, I mean, it's just like where are you going to put it? It's still plastic, as you say. So it's a huge problem. It's not only the problem that is in the ocean, because in other, wherever you take it to the planet, plastic is a problem. So I think that you are doing something important. Okay, I see Kelly raising her hand. Go ahead. We are the only program that we don't make people raising hands, having to go to the doctor to check his muscles the next day. And the doctor asking, what happened to you? Oh, I went to this space and I was with my hand raised. No. We are very fast. Go ahead.
Aloha, everyone. I'm Kelly. I'm based in Maui. And I just want to say that, yeah, being in the NFT space, things move so fast and we're able to connect with so many different people. And one of my friends, Jeremy McCain, he's working with some organizations that are doing exactly that. Like, okay, now that we collected all this plastic and fishing nets and all this, all this recyclable objects in the water, what do we do with it? And there are some companies that are making it into concrete, I've heard. I think that's really interesting because I think it takes a lot of energy to make that. So I think there's so many, being in the space, there are so many solutions being brought, and that's one of them I've heard. Being able to make into concrete and being able to build housing with that. So I found that really interesting.
I also think that one of the things, so like Noel said, you really do need to get it at the source, right? Before it's produced, we can find alternatives, whether it's, bamboo utensils or other things, that paper straws, all the different things to remove the plastic that we're putting into the environment. But I think one of the big things that gets overlooked in a lot of these efforts is that we're really looking at industrial pollution is much more than any of us are able to do. And so one of the big offenders for plastic is commercial fishing. So I've pinned up Kelly's project up top, but the Oceans Apart collection that she's got up on Foundation, she's working with another artist on Maui, and this is for derelict fishing nets, right, Kelly?
Yes, that's exactly right. Yes, I'm working with a filmmaker and dancer on Maui. I'm making a dance film to kind of, make a beautiful project that highlights the dangers of, these fishing entanglements. And we're donating a part of the proceeds to Love the Sea. And what lovethesea.org does, and what nobody else is doing here on the island, is they are going to hard to reach shorelines on Maui, and they only do this several times a year because of the currents, the wind, the way it is. So they just did one actually this week, and they collected like 30,000 pounds of commercial fishing gear. And that's really the huge problem we're seeing here. It's not the straws. I mean, it's really not the straws. We're talking, last ocean cleanup, it was quite light. I think we did about 500 pounds. And, most of it was commercial, fishing gear. And they even saw part of an engine, it was just really crazy. But yeah, what we're doing is hopefully highlighting, the entanglement situation. 20 whales have been saved since 2018 from entanglement by NOAA and Hawaii Wildlife. That's only the ones that we found. And so we're partnering with a lot of local organizations to bring more awareness, but using art to showcase it, in a beautiful way. So people are not, just sledgehammered with all this dismal work, but seeing that, we are helping, we're partnering, and we're bringing more awareness to all these organizations are working together to hopefully, it's not solving the situation, but I think it is a lot of impact we're doing, when they're going to these shorelines, like 20,000, 30,000 pounds, they're groups of 50 people on jet skis and boats. And it's quite inspiring. Yeah, that's what we're dealing with.
Okay. Kelly, thank you for your wonderful answer. Martinoo, can you go ahead? You have your hand raised. Martinoo, I think you have to unmute your phone at the right side.
It's Oliver.
Is what?
Martinoo is actually Oliver, but I'm not sure if he's able to respond at the moment.
No, okay. Do you have any question? Because I have, Tonya, a question related to NFTs. Do we have the food chain in the terra firma, and we have the food chain in the ocean? In this case, in the likeness of a food chain, how will be the connection then here, since this show is called NFT for a Cause, this space? How is the connection between the actual NFTs? Because in one hand we have the ocean in help, and in the other hand we have NFTs producing money that can be directed to help the ocean. How does that chain, NFT helping chain, works? Who can explain that?
Well, so I think when I look at the project that I put into place, the Hawaiian monk seals on Monk Seal Monday, I started using my photos. There's only 1,400 of these seals left. So I started using my photos on social media, hoping that the images themselves would raise awareness for people that didn't know anything about Hawaiian monk seals and would help conserve these animals for future generations. So for me, when NFTs came around, this was a new opportunity because I could now take and curate 20 of my best monk seal images taken over the last 10 years, and put them into a collection called Monk Seal Monday. I've been sharing them for 10 years on social media, so the images were there already. I minted them on OpenSea. I started with the first one in April of 21. as April of 2021 as the survivor. She's an exemplary survivor as far as this species has continued to struggle to survive here in the Hawaiian Islands. And so with each NFT that I sell, I then donate to one of the local nonprofits that's on the front lines of conserving these species. And so I think that's essentially what each of us are doing with our own individual projects. Kori's super rare NFT sold. It then funds her shark research. Kelly's project works together with a nonprofit, Love the Sea Org, and it helps with their ocean cleanup. So each one of us has, as the NFTs are collected by, collectors out there in the world, we are then taking some of the proceeds, and in some cases, several of us have 100% of the proceeds for an NFT going to a research or conservation project.
Wow, that's good. That's great, man. And in this case, we are right in the middle of the hour. So if Tonya wants to say something about how are we going to distribute the rest in time, because we would like to get at least two people from the audience to make questions. And the other question I had is regarding, look at this, how you can raise awareness, okay? Because NFTs are a real help, okay? Actually, some NFTs are producing some money. I mean, helping in health issues, education, natural disasters, etc. So in this case, do you think or do you have any activities, extra activities besides being in these spaces and using only the social media? Do you do like events? I mean, just like, for example, marathons or going to other more traditional mainstream media, or send articles to the newspapers? Where can we find information? If we get in Google, what can we find? Are we find some extra activities, or you are concentrating only in the digital terrain or domain or with the NFTs? Because otherwise,
that's actually a really good question.
Yeah, exactly.
Apologies, Carlos.
No. What I mean is just like there's people. I am a voluntary for a group fighting asbestos. You know, asbestos are terribly carcinogenic and very dangerous. So they do organize in Great Britain marathons and activities, just like Price, and they are very active in doing a lot of activities trying to raise awareness and also money. Okay, so I think that NFTs are great, but even you could do a marathon, making people running and stuff for raising awareness about the possibility that NFTs can for saving and helping to conserve for the conservation of the ocean. I was just commenting on that. If you have extra activities besides the NFTs, just like in the real world presential activities.
That is a great question, and I might have to point out that we are quite a young group, and in reality, we're only about 2 months old, and we're still getting together and coordinating our members as a whole.
I didn't know that.
That being said, all of our members absolutely do start out in the wild as well. A lot of plastic cleanups. I think Kelly was on one the other day, out on the beach cleaning up, pulling out all the fishing lines, etc., etc. We do, however, intend to do a group collaborative collection of NFTs in order to combine our resources as a whole and raise money for hopefully a single meaningful and powerful organization. So we're looking forward to that. But that's definitely a great point and something we will look into in the future. That being said, we're from all over the world, so pretty hard to coordinate a group from so wide-ranging locations and backgrounds. But thank you for the question.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking before going with Martinoo, I don't know if he can speak already. It's just like, for example, it's just like a small cruise ship. Instead of being a cruise, going to the Caribbean islands and making tourism, why don't rent a ship and get people aboard and explain them all the situation being in the place, being in the actual site. You know what I mean? So it may be an exposition. I mean, I don't know. There are a lot of all time, because we are becoming too analogic. I think sometimes that, for example, I am an enemy of the scrolling, and I am at war with the scrolling. I mean, because I think that the scrolling is doing real. It's a mental health problem. People are real trapped. They can't control. It's a real addiction. They're scrolling all day long on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, scrolling. If you measure the time you're scrolling, wow. If you will be directed to actual problems, to help, to solutions, but you know the amount. I mean, we are losing a lot of time with things just entertaining. So I think that the old school, because maybe I'm telling this because I am like.
But Carlos, but most of us sit on Twitter Spaces all day. I don't scroll. Who scrolls these days? I sit on Twitter Spaces and talk to people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So, but I think we should let some of the artists speak so that they can share their art and what they're doing too. Because I think we have more than we only had a few people speak. So, Jason, did you want to?
Absolutely.
I might just quickly mention something there regarding Carlos's scrolling stuff. I completely agree, and yes, we should all definitely do less of that. Carlos, I don't know if you've had a chance to have a walk through our online virtual gallery. It's a really nice way to consume art, and so much more fun than scrolling through Twitter. But if you click on it, get to walk around this gallery like an old James Bond video 64 game. You don't have a gun. We're pretending to get a gun on that with some stars. You can shoot at all the different paintings there. But yeah, it is actually quite a nice way to consume art.
Okay.
I did it last night. It's really cool, by the way. I walked through your gallery. It's really neat.
It really is an amazing way to consume art.
Perfect. Go ahead, keep going.
All right. Well, the next artist that we want to introduce is NoelGuevara, and apologies if I butchered the pronunciation there, Noel. But let me get your pinned tweet up here so you can talk about your Eye of the Fox.
So yeah, it's NoelGuevara. Thank you, Jason. So it's not possible in all cases to have NFTs to directly benefit conservation in terms of utilities. So I'm a conservation storyteller, so I use photos and video to cover pressing issues. I'm from Manila in the Philippines, so I'm the center of the Coral Triangle, and there are so many issues here. We have such biodiverse waters, but at the same time, it's for the most part, it's we have overfishing, and enforcement and management here is not as what we want it to be. And so what I do is I cover these issues for Greenpeace, for WWF, and so on. So that has been my main line of work until 2 years ago when the pandemic hit. And all these NGOs basically shuttered. Work has been impossible due to travel restrictions. So I went into NFTs to help fund my own personal conservation photography projects instead. So rather than waiting for these NGOs to start up again, I decided to empower myself through NFTs, use the sales to cover these issues. One of the things that I'm working on right now, which this Eye of the Fox is funding, is a lot of the protected areas here in the Philippines rely so much on ecotourism and for funding. And because of the pandemic, none of them had tourists or income for the past 2 years. So Eye of the Fox is actually funding an effort to cover how well have they been managed for the past 2 years. This Eye of the Fox is one of my best photos. It's jump-started my career in conservation photography. It's a photo, a very, very rare up-close photo of a thresher shark, a very beautiful shark, yet very shy shark. And sales from this will directly fund my projects for the months to come.
That's wonderful. That sounds great. I uploaded one of your pictures, and I also did the same with the pinned tweet from Kelly, and I'm trying to see another thing. So I don't see them up. Probably. Oh, I don't know if I don't know why they are up. I only see one thing.
Which one are you?
Okay, go ahead.
We've got a
Tonya?
group of tweets pinned up there. I've put up on Cyber Gallery a few times, and then we've got Ryan's shark image, and we've got Kori's recent super rare sale, and Kelly's piece, as well as Noel's I Have the Fox. So I am pinning those up as we go, so that we can get those pieces shared. And I think our next speaker is Matt Walch, and his project. He's actually part of how Kori got into NFTs. So I will pin up his piece and let him talk a little bit more about why he recruited her into this space.
Perfect. Welcome and go ahead.
Hey, hello. How are you?
Welcome.
Thanks for having me. So my work is basically to support Kori's foundation, that is a shark research foundation in Tahiti. So most of my work is intended to support that. I have a collection on OpenSea, which is 100% giving back, and some of my pieces on Superware too. As you can see, my work is mostly done with darker tones, and this is the aesthetic I like, kind of a different look. So
Matt, talk a little bit. Sorry to interrupt, but talk a little bit about your work with underwater whales. Talk about why that's a challenge, shooting underwater and getting an animal that size, and the lighting and editing work that you need to do.
Oh, that's quite a large subject. It's quite challenging because first, there are not whales here like all the year. There's just a certain period of time when you can see them. Then you have to reach them. They have to allow your presence and accept it. So it might take quite some time. Then you can't use like flash for something as big as a whale. It just doesn't work. So you have to.
Why? Excuse me, Matt.
Yeah.
Why you can use flash with them? What's
Because
the big reason?
you couldn't light something that big with a
Yes, okay,
yeah.
I understand. You should need like a military light or something. I understand.
To light something underwater, you have to be like quite close, and somehow lights tend to focus on a certain part, and you can't light up something that's 15 meters long.
Wow!
So it's not a solution.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah. So you really rely on the weather conditions. So you have to make up for that in your setting and editing. So
that sounds like a huge amount of work to go to in order to capture these images, and then you put them together. You spend a huge amount of time editing them up, and then you sell them, and you dedicate 100% of that image's sales to Kori's foundation. Why do you do that?
So why do I do that? Because somehow we are all aware that we are endangered, that the ocean are threatened. But I mean, we can just see that and just do nothing. So I mean, we have to come up with solutions. So my solution was to support a local initiative, which is Kori's program. But I think we all have our part to play for these issues, if that makes sense.
Wow, that's such an important thing. I mean, really, really important. I mean, my kudos to you for that feeling and being conscious and being aware. And one question: is there any trick is there any, with using sounds or sonars, is there anything that you can do to make a whale go up and get closer to the surface, such that in daylight, so it will be probably easier to get better light for your pictures?
Like some whale bait or something to attract them?
No, not necessarily bait, but just like something like sounds, just like with the dog whistles or something. Or maybe a trick. Maybe
I'd love
maybe
to.
hey, maybe you can tell a whale, hey, in the surface of the ocean there is cheaper gasoline, and maybe the whale will be faster to there is $3 gasoline, and there were okay, now that you are here, we have better light. We just took the picture.
Oh, I'd love to have one device like that.
But there is nothing like that. Okay. So
No,
you rely
the most you
on
can do is
God.
like trying not to scare them and not to annoy them, so they will stay for a while with you. But I think for now, it's the most you can do.
Okay.
Maybe one day, a whale whistle, maybe.
Okay. Who in the team? I'm gonna ask who in the team needs to say something and doesn't want, because we are 15 minutes away. What's something important that should be said that you haven't said yet, and you think of it? You have the microphone and you have the time. Something regarding the project. I mean, anything that you want to say about sending a message to the people listening to this recording after we are finishing live. Things,
Are we done with all the speakers? I thought we had a couple more.
Yeah, I was going to say Oliver is out in the audience. Well, Oliver's on the stage. Shinto's out in the audience. The two of them do underwater macro, which is a whole different environment. Much like Matt is talking about the challenges with photographing one of the largest animals in the ocean. Oliver and Shinto photograph some of the smallest animals in the ocean that most people would never even be aware of. So, okay, so Shinto, you're up if you want to take that. I know you've got a group of seahorse and nudibranch that you can talk about.
By the way, 1,300 is the only amount left. It's too little. They're really on the verge of extinction. It's terrible.
Hey everyone. I was I was listening to you, and it's still morning, so I didn't want to come up before having a coffee. So it's still good. Yeah, I'm really glad you guys sent me the request. We were actually discussing some similar topic yesterday with Noel and Dylan. We had a similar space on wildlife conservation. So yeah, it's about the work I do. I'm also an underwater photographer, just like the rest of the team, and then I shoot mostly macro. I think Oliver was the only other one here who was in my. Finn is also there. So about the conservation part, right now there's not a lot which I does with the NFT which directly contributes towards the conservation, other than there's like a small personal thing, which is every NFT sold, we are doing an adoption of whale sharks or manta rays from Marine Megafauna Foundation. It's a very big organization based out of US. I was lucky to work with them once in Maldives when I was working in Maldives. So I was like, they are not very. I'm not sure how in on the ground how it was, but like at least when I was working with them, it was like totally hands-on project. They were researching about. I mean, at that time they were researching about white tips, and then yeah, it was. I was just glad to just be part of their project. But outside of NFT, I do work quite closely with a couple of NGOs here in Singapore. And we work predominantly on wildlife trading, especially on marine life trading, because Singapore is one of the biggest hubs of all kind of exports and import. And unfortunately, wildlife is one of them. So we have a local NGO. One of my friend founded it. It's called Coastal Natives, and then we we work closely with the customs here in Singapore, and then anytime we get a like a very big shipment of shark fins or like any other illegal trades, they ask us to come and document, and then we do that part for them. Like recently we've been
Listen,
yeah.
Shinto, I see in your bio it says here to share a lot of ocean stories. Come on, in less than 2 minutes, what's your best ocean story?
Okay, let me tell you the story, because since I have the pin tweet up there, I can tell you. I think half of the team already heard the story, but I can still share the same. So if you see the pin tweet, there is so there are like
unicorns of blue.
Exactly. So there are like six images in it, and one of them is from Singapore. So that seahorse is actually one of my favorite stories, which I shot recently. The reason is like we saw the seahorse. It's hard to find seahorses in Singapore since it's bad visibility here. But then when I found this, it was a very small seahorse. Then we started tracking the seahorse. Like every other week, we go to the same dive site, and he'll be like on the same place. And then unfortunately, after like 3, so it was actually quite nice because he was still a juvenile. So you can actually see every week we go, the colors are changing from white to like white and yellow. And then unfortunately in October, when we went back, we realized that the whole area where there was a sponge coral, and then the whole area was destroyed by a boat anchor. We don't know who did that, because it's usually the fishermen. They don't usually know where the coral is. They drop the anchors, and the seahorse was not there anymore. So they are like very. See, the funny thing about seahorses, they are actually fish, and they are actually the slowest swimmers in the ocean. So it's not really easy for them to find a refuge before they get eaten by a predator. I hope the seahorse found its home, or I hope it's reached its next reef. But yeah, that's your ocean story for the day.
Okay, that's good. There was in this documentary in the last Oscar who won the last year Oscar who won my teacher the pulpo, the octopus, my master. There was a small, no, I don't remember the seahorse in that. There were only, forget about it.
Yeah, it was only about the octopus teacher.
That's the octopus teacher, exactly. Okay. So you say that it's actually a fish. I mean, reproducing through eggs, right? It's not a mammal. It's not like dolphins.
Yeah, they are actually fish, and like they are I don't know if there's any other species. They are the only species where the male give birth. So that's another fun fact.
Okay. And what's the difference between dolphins and the whales? Because whales are cetaceans, right?
Right.
And the dolphins, what kind of
dolphins are also mammals.
Also mammals, yeah, exactly. Okay. I think. What do you think, Tonya, about using? We have like 8 minutes to make 1 or 2 questions from the audience if we have time.
Yeah, we should. But Jason? Did we give everyone a chance to talk on your team?
Yep. I think we can open for questions at this point.
Okay. So let's see. Martinoo is from your team, or he's from the audience?
No, he's from our team, but he certainly can ask a question or talk about his work as well.
Okay, Martinoo Asiakwa. Because he already has. Okay.
Hello, Carlos. Tonya, thank you very much to welcome us, and hello to the rest of the team. I don't know. I'm like Shinto. I'm very involved in very, very small features on the sea. So our work is very specific and is less spectacular when you shoot shark or whales or things like that. And what we try to do when we shoot hidden critters like that, very small, like 2 mm or 3 mm, very, very small, we just try to expose them to the normal people, the non-diver, and the people that don't imagine. The critters we shoot is like the insect in the earth. In fact, they are everywhere. We don't see them. We see the mosquito because they disturb us, or the flies, but the ocean are full of very, very small critters, totally hidden. And what we do when we make underwater macro photography is try to expose that, because they show the fragility of that world. Because if we remove the coral or small animals or what we call the fixed fauna from the floor of the ocean, all that critters are also gone because they cannot live out their habitat. So what we try to do when we take the photo for that kind of critters and expose them to the public is to awake them to the conservation of the ocean. Is very important. For the big animal like whales, shark, or everything very exposed by the media, they're also another life totally hidden, and is what they have to protect too. This is the message what we try to do when we expose our work and our picture to the world.
Well, that's good. I think I don't know if Ryan could. I just wanted to comment something. Do you know what shocked me? I am 60 years old, and I got to know just 2 years ago that only 2% of the water in the planet is sweet water, and the rest is salty water. The ocean water is totally, I mean, with sodium chloruro de sodio, like we say in Spanish. I mean, so it's so impressive. I mean, when we have to save the drinking water, I mean, they should start school by teaching you that, because you see the huge planet Earth, and the little bowl of sweet water is so small. So imagine how many things are in the oceans, and they need to protect all that wonderful life, which I guess there are hundreds of species that we even don't know anything about. So Ryan, if you want to say something about photography, your submarine photography, or is Jason? Sorry, I don't know. I guess it's Ryan.
Absolutely, Carlos. Thank you for the opportunity. So I just wanted to speak broadly about underwater photography. And what a lot of people don't know is, unlike terrestrial photography, there's telephoto lenses, and long lenses aren't actually practical. So underwater photography is all up close and personal. And to put the reference to that, I'm talking, to capture a decent photo, you need to be within 2 meters of your subject, more likely 1 meter. So I would encourage everyone that's down in the audience or listening in here to firstly follow the Ocean Tribe, a great Twitter account, and it'll fill your feed with amazing underwater photos. And then have a poke around the members' profiles and have a look at these incredible photos of everything from tiny little seahorses where the members got to be, I don't know, within 30 centimeters of that animal in order to take a photo. And then see the people that are taking photos of 5 meter long great white sharks. And yes, they absolutely still have to be within 1 or 2 meters of those subjects to get that photo. So yeah, think that through. 1 or 2 meters away from a 5 meter great white shark or an oceanic white tip. Pretty impressive for this group of people. Yeah, that's about what I just wanted to sum up and let people know a little bit more about underwater photography.
Well, and have you any time have you been able of taking a picture of a whale?
Unfortunately, Ryan? I have not had that opportunity. It's definitely on my bucket list, and I'm going to hit Matt up to come over and have a bit of a photo shoot with him. But no, you do definitely have to be close to whales as well. The problem with that is these things are 15 meters long. So you can be 1 or 2 meters away from that whale, but you're 1 or 2 meters away from one part of it, which is one of the huge big challenges that Matt has when he's actually lighting up his subjects and focusing on them too.
I'm going to tell you something before I give the mic to Tonya to wrap up, and giving thanks to each of every one of you here for your contribution. I started talking about my son, asking the question if sharks doesn't sleep. I am suspecting that my son may be a shark. But let me tell you something. Maybe you haven't been lucky with the whales, because my son not only never sleeps, but he could eat a full whale if you give it properly cooked to him, okay? He eats so much, okay, so that probably the whale that you were going to photograph was eaten by my son, okay? So I will talk seriously to him and tell him to stop eating full whales. That must not be good for his digestion, okay? Thank you very much for coming, Jason, Ryan, Kelly, Shinto. Thank you very much. NoelGuevara, I know how to pronounce your last name because I speak Spanish, is Guevara. Well, Matt, Kori, everybody. Solar Life, Finn, Martinoo, thank you very much. And well, I leave the mic to Tonya for the official wrap up. And thank you. This was a great and very informative space. And thank you. Thank you for helping this planet. Thank you for helping the animal. Thank you for being here. God bless you all. Bye-bye.
So has anyone, when I was walking through the gallery and looking at all your work and stuff, has anyone ever did a showing with like a hologram machine with your work in it? I just think it's so beautiful and I can't imagine taking pictures of these beautiful animals so close up. So that's what I was thinking.
I actually heard you can walk around in virtual reality this gallery. So you can strap on your Oculus or whatever it is you have and actually walk around using that. I haven't had the opportunity, unfortunately, but if anyone has, please hit us up on our Twitter account and let us know how it is.
Yeah, I'm supposed to get some Oculus. My girlfriend is giving me her extra one. I've been trying to buy a pair and it keeps on running out, and so she's giving me a pair of hers. But you don't need Oculus. You can just walk through it and still see it because it's an XR. So it's really cool. And the fact that like all of you found each other and creating a group out of this, that's incredible. And doing some great things, sharing information and sharing your nonprofits that you're working with. That's the key, because a lot of your nonprofits you're missing, you guys have mentioned, I never even heard of them. So I appreciate everyone for being here. Again, this is streamed on YouTube. I wrote a blog about it, but we're gonna cut it up in snippets. So anyone that speak, I would definitely tag you. And again, it's all shared all over the social network. And I look forward to collaborating, getting to know every single one of you. And if you have any upcoming event that you're doing, let me know. I'd love to cover it and see what happened. And for your gallery, if I was doing like an opening or something, you can, because I get a lot of emails from artists from galleries showing that you can request media coverage. You should try to maybe publish a press release for your project and then have them request for media coverage, and then use that link to show your gallery.
We'd love to do that, and I'll hit you up with a DM or in that chat group we have on the side and ask you more about that. That sounds absolutely amazing.
Yeah, because your project is.
I do agree. Exactly, it's totally possible.
And it's something everyone's talking about, but we're not really talking together as a planet, And it's something that we all talk about, complain about, worry about, fret about, but no one's actually gone out there and show what it looks like down there, but also capture each moment, but have a group like this. That's what made me. I was really interested in that because I've never met a group where you guys just met each other and you're global and everyone has a different type of photography, pictures that they're taking, and then they're all into NFT, and like each image that you post as an NFT, the process in itself, the story behind each image, and you can make a little short recording or video or whatever you want to call it of that image, and that would be your process. That would be a beautiful NFT, and then the actual
just like behind the scenes of each photograph, behind camera, behind the scenes. That's wonderful. And all the bloopers. If you have trouble taking a picture and there is something, a blooper reel will be great too. A submarine blooper reel. Thank you for
A
coming
blooper
again.
reel, as long as it doesn't include any shark bloopers, because that could end up dangerous.
Yeah. No, I don't risk your life. Come on, don't risk your life. Especially don't put in front of my son. He could eat you totally. I mean, I will go. Oh, where is Ryan? Oh, he was the dessert for Carlos' son. So thank you very much, everybody, for coming, and thank you for. I really think that if we don't do something very fast against plastic, it's going to be a huge and horrible problem in a few years that we probably won't handle. And which is the name these monkeys you were naming at the beginning, because I want to research some more about them. The population, which is only 1,300 left.
That would
I'm
be the
sorry, that
Hawaiian
was-
monk seal.
Yes, the Hawaiian monk seal. Sorry, I did pin that up. I've got a thread up there as well, so I appreciate that. That is a unique species here in Hawaii. So we are doing our best to recover them.
Okay. So well, good luck with that, because it's terrible. It's terribly sad when you know that a species disappears forever. It's a crime. It doesn't should happen in this time with so many satellites and so much technology. It should be a piece of cake to save species. They shouldn't be in danger. So many species as they are. So we all have to fight together. Thank you for coming, because this is a way to fight them. Tonya, please say bye-bye, because I don't know how to say bye-bye shortly. Bye-bye. Thank you very much.
You know, I have to like record everything and share everything out before. So
okay. Oh,
Thank you so much.
hey, listen. Today, okay, because you're gonna edit this out, I will tell you, Jason, Ryan, Kelly, a little surprise. I mean, you know that if you are a lot in the spaces, Tonya is in like 20 spaces a day, everywhere, different parts of the planet. I mean, we don't know how to, but I discovered the secret. Two secrets are around Tonya. First, Jason, Kelly, your days have 24 hours, like mine, like Ryan, like Shinto. Okay, everybody has 24 hours day. A secret. Tonya's days have 36 hours. So that's why she beats everyone here. Okay, and the second thing is she has two sisters. They are triplets, three girls. They look alike, exactly alike. So they move and they hit you, and you're like, oh, I'm here. You say, how Tonya does this? Is because there are three Tonyas, and each one has 36 hours a day. So you never will catch her. Okay, don't even attempt
I'm
it.
saving every single snippet, every single time I make that comment on any of our spaces, because one day I'm gonna live stream it all back out again, so you can hear.
Exactly.
So everyone, thank you so much. And if you have any upcoming projects that you wanted to share with us, please DM myself or Carlos. We'll be happy to cover it. We're finishing up with the website, because we're gonna blog about every single guest that we mentioned that we're bringing on. And so if you have any project, DM me, and I'll make sure I will include this into the blog post for this project today. So
Also, Manuel Brand was here. Thank you for accompanying us.